Yeah. Sometimes I complain. Let's go to line 5. I hear there's somebody waiting there who's been waiting for a while. Who's there on line 5?
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, am I going to be okay on speakerphone?
I think so. Who is this?
This is Catherine.
Catherine.
Yep.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. What's going on?
Well, lots of stuff. But
Okay.
I just got back from my precinct caucus.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty exciting that we do not go after each other with machetes.
Yeah.
We disagree politically.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, and then you mean machete physically, not metaphorically speaking.
I mean physically, like in Kenya.
Yeah.
Of course, we haven't had the final election yet, so I suppose that could change. But I have a lot of faith that won't happen in this country.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So anyway, and that was pretty exciting, and definitely put me in the old fart category.
Yeah.
But it was like a great process that I appreciate having the privilege to participate in every 4 years.
Fantastic.
And so there we are. And
Yep.
I also wanted to say something about traffic.
Yes, please.
I've lived here all my life.
Okay.
And I just really don't drive on the freeway much anymore unless
Yep.
I absolutely have to.
Yep.
And I know the places where it gets clogged up.
Yep.
And lucky for me, I don't have to commute to the east side anymore. I feel really bad to do.
Oh, I do every
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
So my husband does, and he occasionally takes the bus, and that works out really well for him.
Good.
But sometimes, he feels like he has to work later and
Yep.
that kind of stuff.
Yep. Well, that would be like one of a million arguments I would have about restructuring and altering and improving the transit system here is that there's a huge push to get people on buses, and that's cool. I'm fine with that. But, sometimes you have to go to the dentist at 2:30.
Right.
Or you have to pick up your kids from school at 3:30.
Right.
Or like in my case, I'm diabetic, and I had to go from Redmond down to Valley Hospital down in Renton and then be back again in time to finish my job, by 1 o'clock. So I had to leave at 11 a.m., get down there at 1, come back again. Now, I'm not saying it's something that you have to do every day, but I don't know why it's like people, I get so frustrated. People act like people don't have lives. Like, well, just take the bus. We'll just, take mass transportation. It's like that's cool. I am totally down with mass transportation. I want light rail, frankly, but you can't do it every day. And if you can't do it every day, what's the alternative? Nothing.
Well, I thought it was really interesting, though, when they were working on the interchange between, I guess it was between the West Seattle Bridge and I-90 or somewhere down in there. There were a lot of fearmongers that were just predicting, multiple hours backups, and it was just awful.
Yep.
And there was a guy who predicted, and I can't remember what his name was, and he said, no, it's not going to be awful. And it turned out that it wasn't awful.
Nope.
A lot of individuals made different decisions. Some of them took transit, some of them decided to work from home, some of them decided that, they just didn't have to go to that thing that day. They rescheduled their appointment or whatever. It wasn't horrible.
Yeah, and you bring up a perfect point, which is that if everybody's pulling in the same direction and everybody's thinking positively and everybody's thinking about working everyday solutions to the problems that exist on a large scale, there is something that can be done.
Right.
And it's what drives me crazy about living in this area, and maybe this is it. Maybe that's the way this is. It's this way in every town in the world. I don't know, but it seems to be more prevalent in the Seattle area. Is people just shrug their shoulders and go, "Huh? What are you gonna do?" I'm like, "You're gonna get mad. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna get mad and do something about it. Huh? Nothing you can do.
Yeah.
No, sorry. I give up. Yep. I'd rather just sit here."
We are in a state, and especially a city, known for indecision. I think it's pretty amazing that we actually had the Seattle World's Fair here, because I bet that there were lots and lots of people who didn't want to see that area developed or the space.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Seattle was like that then. That's the thing.
Well, there were a few movers and shakers back then, and we allowed them to move and shake. And now, there are just a lot of people that have individual opinions. And, I mean, I'm frankly glad that we did not replace the viaduct with the stupid bus tunnel.
Yeah.
And I'm just one of those old people that, wishes we could just kind of keep the viaduct, and the heck with those people who want their multi-million-dollar views unobstructed.
Yeah, you and I might disagree with that on that one, but
I think that there should be the Viaduct Martyrs Club. And this
what is that?
Well, these would be people who would sign up to say, we will not sue the state or anybody else if there's an earthquake and the viaduct is destroyed.
Yeah.
Families don't have the right to sue, except that what the government will do is maybe pay those families, say, $50,000 each, or what sum. We would save so much money.
Yeah.
Traffic would be light.
Yeah.
I mean, you could only drive on the viaduct if you were a member of the Viaduct Martyrs Club. You'd have kind of like UPC reader thing on your fender, and that's the way you could get on. And otherwise, people who are so afraid about it collapsing in an earthquake, hey, drive someplace else.
I love the way you think. Yeah, you're a visionary.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's realistic, but what I love about visionaries is that somewhere between reality and vision is what actually happens.
Yeah.
And that's what's great, as opposed to the difference between reality and pessimism, which is so predominant in the Puget Sound area, which is nothing happens.
Right.
Oh, no, nothing you can do. Sorry. Oh, no, no. Oh, gosh, I guess we're just going to sit here. Oh, what are we going to do? We're going to complain about it. No, people think I complain, but I complain about things that I think can change, that I think can be improved, that can be better than it is right now.
Right.
Those are the things. What frustrates me and what upsets me the most about anything, whether it's traffic or a book or a magazine or a stereo system, I'm reaching for straws, is things that don't work.
Right.
Things that don't work or work poorly. It drives me crazy. It just drives me nuts.
Yep.
And I know there are workable solutions to these kind of things, and that's what drives me crazy.
Yes.
It's not that I want to complain. It's not that I think negatively. I think people misinterpret the things that I'm saying. It's not that. It's that I can see it. I have that vision of seeing something better than the way it is, and no one wants to get on board. Or at least that's the way it feels.
Right.
It feels like no one wants to get on board and have a discussion about this. And so when I told people I was going to talk about traffic when I went on the show, they rolled their eyes like, oh, no, you're not going to talk about that. I said, yes, I am, because I have a vision of getting a dialogue started in the Puget Sound area to get people to start talking about what bothers us all, but no one seems to want to talk about it.
Well, one thing that's, I think, always been a chronic problem with bus service is that it's a hard town to serve in a cross-town way. New York City, it's just laid out in a grid, no lakes in the middle, nothing like that, and it's pretty easy. But to get, say, from Ballard over to the University District is really a long haul.
You know what?
From Ballard or Magnolia to anywhere is really hard, and there aren't that many buses that go that way.
Yep.
I lived in Ballard for 28 years, and it tacked 20 minutes onto my commute when I work outside.
Yeah, and you certainly wouldn't want to, change the roads or expand them or, what I see is, just, buy a couple of houses out and move those houses and then expand that intersection right there. Because, oh, no, we wouldn't want to put those people out of their house. Oh, well, they've lived there forever, and there's a housing shortage in Seattle. So, it was summed up best in Star Trek 2. Everything you need to know about life is in Star Trek 2.
Yeah.
And it was, you have to do what's best for the many and not just the one.
Yeah.
And that, to me, Seattle is about trying to please all the people all the time. And you can't please all the people all the time. I'm pretty sure a guy who was a lot smarter than me said that.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if he was smarter than you.
Nice.
Hey, Ed.
You're a masher.
I have to go because I'm going to go shop with my daughter for a wedding dress.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is what we're doing in our cars is we're getting on with our lives. We don't drive to pollute the atmosphere. We drive so that we can live a decent life.
Well, frankly, we're going downtown, and I am not driving. I'm asking my husband to take me, and my daughter's going to bring me home because I just hate driving downtown and finding parking and all that stuff.
Positive solutions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good on, Ed.
Hey, good on you, too. Thanks for calling.
Very welcome.
Okay. Bye.